Here's how to add 1099 NEC on TurboTax. So 1099 NEC is going to be under self-employed income, and so that's going to be under your wages and income section. Whether you've started filling everything out and kind of gotten to your income, or you're not quite there, go ahead and start filling things out, but eventually you'll hit this wages and income section. And whether or not it asks you at any point if you've had any self-employment income, at some point you will be on your wages and income summary. So we can go there just by kind of hovering over that drop down and clicking on it. And in here you're going to see all your different incomes. So you might see a W-2, you might see investment and savings, anything that TurboTax has already asked you to go through. If we scroll down, we may see a button that says add more income, and that's going to drop down and show all of these different little drop downs. And one of them is called self-employment, and that's what we need to look at. We need to add a line of work and then start adding those 1099 NEC forms. So we click on that and we go visit or revisit it. Now inside of here, it's going to ask if you had any self-employment income. Of course we have. That's what the 1099 NEC is for. Now we need to describe the line of work that we do. So in this case, I'll just say graphic design, and my 1099s are going to fall under graphic design as a line of work. So we hit continue. It's going to ask you how you would classify it. I'm just going to say it's a side job for extra money. For all of these questions, you need to enter in whatever applies to your tax situation or your situation. So hit continue after that. I'm going to say that neither apply to starting or stopping this line of work in this tax year. I didn't make any contractor payments of $600 or more, so I'll hit no and continue. And then I'm going to say none of these apply as far as some of these less common situations. And now I can kind of review the information for that line of work. I'm going to just say looks good. And then we're going to enter in the income for that line of work. Lots of different forms, but one of them is the 1099 NEC. And this is where you can enter the 1099 NEC. So we check mark it and we hit continue. Now from there, we're going to enter in everything that's on that form. You will be able to do multiple forms if you need to. I'm just going to put in some dummy information, sample stuff here, and say Acme paid me. You'll want to make sure that you actually enter in all of the appropriate information from your form. And so I'm going to say a bunch of fives here, but this is the compensation section, so that was the actual income. Maybe yours is blank after that, maybe it's not. Just fill in what you need to and hit continue. Now it's going to ask if any of those came from tips. In my case, no, it did not. And now it's going to show basically the income so far for graphic design. It kind of pauses here and says, is there more income you want to add? So if you have multiple 1099 NECs, you can actually add multiple to this line of work. If you have other lines of work that you need to add income to, you can click this little button down here. It'll tell you what's going to happen. Basically, once you go back to that self-employment summary, you can actually add more lines of work if you need to. So you can add more self-employed income, add more 1099 NECs, or you can say, no, I don't have any more income. That's the only one for that, and hit continue. It'll ask for your expenses. I'm going to say no. In this case, you would want to itemize your expenses if you have some, but then it's going to show me this summary of graphic design, line of work, expenses, income, where we see our 1099 down here. You can add more income if you need to, and then some other information. We can hit continue, and that will eventually take us back to the summary page again, which I'm just going to skip to right now. We'll go to wages and income summary. And inside of here, you're going to now see this self-employment income section. And we go to add edit on it, and it's going to show us the self-employed summary of all of our lines of work. So you see you can add another line of work, or you can add or edit this line of work. In this case, I have a 1099 from Acme for my graphic design work. And I can edit that, or I can go in to there and add more if I need to. And so that is how you can add a 1099 NEC on TurboTax.